Hi, everybody. This is Sam Albright. I'm here in my studio for the afternoon or for just a little bit. I'm kind of in the middle of my process here of working on, I don't know if it's a new series or it's a series of, exploring some different materials. And I'm just going to try another sort of test painting today. What I do, I do a lot of working things out in my notebook. So like I've got some Tioga pecan ink with some earth color from the canyon here that I dribbled out there, and it kind of made this little landscape. And then I tried some of this other earth from, I think this was from kind of Wenatchee, and it kind of made it a little redder. It's kind of this clay stuff, and then you mix it with this ink. And so I experiment in my notebook, and then something will come out, like these trees have been coming out. Let me turn around and let's see if we can see a bunch of these trees. It's been really windy, right? So I've been doing all these inky trees, trying to catch some of this wind that's so much Ellensburg. Like, I really like this one. And they're just they're ink, and then I wash them with the shape that I want. And I'm trying to get this real, like we're talking about Zen demos. These are real Zen strokes. You just put it down and it goes right into the paper, and you can't really manipulate it, and then so what I'm trying to do is right now, today, here, let me move this back where we can kind of get an idea of what I'm working on. I had this kind of wake up dream the other day where I could see the different, it was kind of coming out of the forest, these different tones. So it was like lighter, middle, real made out of ink. And so I want to utilize that, and then utilize something of the tree on top, and then use some of these red, rusty colors for the earth. But I want them to be kind of mysterious. I don't want to describe them too much, but I don't want them to turn cartoony, but I like the textures. Anyway, I'm kind of in the middle of my process. And I want to use some of my, watercolor techniques like this. This one is this branches and stuff going on here. And here's that rusty ink stuff down here. I want to use something like this. So they're a bit mysterious, but I'm given enough information that it's not just completely abstract, which is great, but I'm kind of having trees and things these days. So I've got this is Arches watercolor paper, and I've just got it masking tape down for right now. Sometimes if you wet the whole thing, you've got to really stick it down with watercolor tape or staple it. This one I want the roughness of the paper and the ink to break up on the surface. This is kind of that cold press. So it's got a little bit of texture. It's not hot press, it's not real smooth, but it's not super rough. It's just so I'm gonna keep it, it's dry. It's not a wet paper. So let's see. But first, I got to kind of get an idea of what I was going to do. I'm going to use just a little bit of, maybe just a little bit of water, and then these are some water-soluble pencils. You kind of see this There's one sketch in one of my notebooks that I was kind of interested in. It's this little one. You can see it right up there. See this one? It's got this earth, and then there's a top land layer, and then I want to do some kind of more of a forest over the top. But I want these earth layers to be layered down into the earth, and utilizing some of our earth from here. And I've got some stuff that I picked up someplace around here, and I know that this number 1 works really good. Got a really red one here. I think I need to like smash it up a little bit more. Maybe make up some of that. Need something to smash that up. That one's kind of red. It's kind of a deep red. So I'm not really trying to make super smooth paint, or I want those particles. But I'm going to try a little gum arabic and water, kind of get it ready to go. Probably don't need too much. I haven't really worked this out yet. I know that gum arabic is the thing you use in watercolors that sticks the particles in there, but I haven't quite worked out how to. I need one of those molar things, like a glass molar, but this will be fine with my other more official watercolors and the inks. Here, let me show you. See, it's just, I don't know if you can see it. It's just making mud, basically. Mud, ooh. It's got the terroir of the place. I'd have to look up, I've got some notes where I got these different earths. That seems pretty good. I don't want it to dry out on me though, because I'm not really ready for the rest of it. This is where I'm kind of like, I'm making it up as I go here. I mean, I don't have a procedure, after you do something a few times, then kind of get a technique down, but it's almost like the accidents that happen when you kind of don't know what you're doing are sometimes the best. Way best. Okay, so but first, what do I want to be the first stroke on there? I want that to be that kind of the top. I want a big brush. And kind of a rough brush, maybe. Probably not that big. got this funky one now. I want it to be, it's kind of, where is it? There's a, kind of a third or these key points, I want it to be way up here. I want the earth to be like all down in here. But what should I do first? I've got this this gray, sage gray mix that I mixed out of woodland green from this fountain pen ink that's really nice. But I could mix it up in watercolor. Maybe I'll just mix some watercolor with that dye. I've got this gray mix that I had that I liked pretty good. This is kind of weird doing it this way. I mean, we're just kind of where you're just kind of working on your thing. Normally I'm not trying to talk to somebody while I'm doing this. Yeah. I need the right brush. It's kind of getting prepared for this as a big. I found some really cheapy brushes up at Gerald's that I just love. These are like super cheap, but they're this mop, really nice watercolory mop, and then they're just like $3 or something, $3.50. I can't believe they're so cheap. But I also use like just those super cheapy dollar brushes from the hardware store and cut them apart and stuff, because you get that texture. Of course, a really nice brush is a different thing. But these are actually really nice. I want this to go across on this top. Where is that going to be? Is it going to go all the way across, or is it like a cliff? I've been doing these kind of cliffs. We were down in Billy Mack and Denise and Ren and I were down in Oregon, down in Yachats last year. And there was this great cliff with this tree, and I just went out there every day. It was that real Oregon coasty kind of thing with this great tree. So I want these trees up on the top. I've got these mixes in my little portable brushes, but I'll just have to get going. I need another spritz bottle here. This is a little bigger. Okay, I'm going to put some kind of marks on this. There's got to be some. Do I want that cliff or this? Okay, this is a Derwent pencil in it, and okay there. Okay, see that the wind's coming from that way. That's where my arm's going. So I'm just gonna don't put too much right now. But I want some of these to go off the top. I think they're gonna be like. Just a few little marks, and then they just a little spritz on the surface, then they kind of spread out and they make this cool stuff. And I like depth. I like things, further back and forward. And oh wow, that really splits up. That's 4 probably. I need at least maybe a high one up here. That's cool. Okay, it's kind of getting in the diagonal. So it's like if I have, then these shapes down in here will lead back into there. So let's say there's some sort of distant thing. Another shrubby thing here. I'm not looking at anything, although I go out and I observe, we've got these great bitter brush and our hawthorns out here that are blown in the wind. And so I go out and I paint those and draw those in plain air, you know, out in the real thing. And then I can kind of know the energy of them, and then just from my memory kind of do it. So I'm making it up, but I've observed them enough. I'm gonna suck up some of that water. I don't want to get it too wet here yet. Yeah. Now I need this. That had some of that orange ink in it. That looks kind of cool. Now I need this ground. I want that totally dry to do this ground on there. So I'm going to grab a little bit of this. And that kind of makes the ground a little bit too, stretches it out. Starts becoming this angle. It's like the top of that is becoming an angle. Now I've got this dirty stuff on there. I don't want to put blue in the sky. I just want the paper to be clean there. But I want the inks that I'm going to do down here to go up crisp to the masking tape, so you get a nice border, and it kind of really defines it nicely. Oh, I like that. That's cool right there. There's some real water spritzes and stuff. And I'm going to go over this with like a real black ink. So I want that to be, you know, so you got this softness of in the water, but then some real opaque black stuff on top. I just ordered up some super black, matte black from England, this guy. And I can't wait to try it. And it's supposed to be the blackest of the black. It sucks the light. 99% of the light will be sucked into it. Even beyond, you know, the Sumi inks that I've been using. Okay. Now I want this, maybe the, what was that sketch doing? I had these greens. Those are really nice greens. That's really dark. Maybe the top of that is something like this. I think that is maybe apatite green. Apatite green. I'm not sure if that's how you say it, but let's see if I can find mine. And maybe a little sap green in there too. Here, green apatite genuine from Dan Smith. It's like one of those rocks that they, you know, and it kind of is sedimentary. It pulls apart. Dude, now this is already getting drying out here. I don't want that to dry out. Okay, maybe I need a bigger watercolor kind of palette here. I'm gonna do it this way. I didn't really plan it the way this is. It just goes. You know, you just got to go with the flow on this kind of thing. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna get a good amount of. Well, I'm running out of apatite. I like that color. I'm gonna have to order some of that. Oh, I think Gerald's has got Dan Smith watercolors now. I'm not particular with brand, whichever you got, you know. Some of them They all work. Okay. So maybe this is going to be this. No, this has got to be saturated. So it's got to be a big saturated edge, and then maybe I should mask that because I want to maybe do some spritzes in here, but I think I'll mask that out on top so I don't get a bunch of stuff on there. Let's see, piece of paper, maybe kind of. Let's see, I need a little bigger piece of paper. I'll be right back. Let's see. There we go. So this will be a curve. I want texture up to like that. So this is going to be kind of like the heel or something. Kind of coming down. Let's cut that off. Let's see. Little masking tape. Could get all super tight with this, you know, and then start. But I just want not to get that white of the paper wet or sprinkles up there. I'm gonna probably do some little spritzes on there, like let's use a big rock. Yeah, it's kind of a sap green, but it breaks apart a little bit. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is, I'm not trying to copy this drawing or this little sketch, but I want to use some of this gray mix too. I'm going to put that into a container. Whoa. That had sepia, had woodland green from the diamond inks. And okay. I want to keep these areas a little separated. So this is gonna, I'm really saturated up. Maybe I'll put a little bit of something in there. Just for grins. A special sauce. Need enough water on here. Okay, now this is going to be dry on paper, right? This is going to be dry. This is the. Okay, I want to cover up those blotches that are on there. More. I don't really like that. Oh, there we go. Maybe it's just this direction of my stroke. Okay. That's okay. That's probably good enough. Kind of squint at it. Let's just add some more in there. Okay, now I'm going to do. It's kind of funny having the camera over there because this isn't how I'm normally organized. Okay, so I want. Let's see, this is a better brush. Oh, maybe this bristle. No, maybe this one. Okay, so this is going to be really dark, I think. Yeah, that's just like super good saturated color. Now it's going to run into that because that is. So I'm going to try keeping separate from that, leaving a little spot. Oh yeah, that's more what I want. I like those little ends where yeah. There, that's pretty good. Now, it depends on if that runs underneath that tape or not, because I haven't really sealed that tape in or anything. Just gonna keep that off of there, soak that up a little bit. I think we're good. It's hard to tell. Okay, so I'm gonna put another one in there. Maybe run that one over. See if that blends in. Cool. Okay. Now I'm feeling down here. So like underneath there. There. That's cool. I can't quite visualize what it is if it's, but I'm gonna let that ink. Okay, now. Don't spill anything. Okay, I need to get some spritz colors. Here, let's do like a. Should I go all the way red? No. Well, I'm gonna go quinacridone, burnt orange, which I'm gonna use later. So that'll be cool. I'm gonna use this later. I'm not gonna well, maybe I'll I can neutralize it, but I think I want it just really pretty solid. Doesn't come off it. Just a little bit. God, I need more than that. That didn't work. Maybe I go full on my orange ink. Or it's not orange, it's kind of, let's try this. Okay, put a little bit of this. This is Geoda Pecan. Let's try that. That was first off there. Oh God, that's too much. It's cool though. Okay. That's good. That's good. Just leave this. Never know. Okay, but I'm gonna soak up some of this. That puddle right there. Because that might dry weird. Like leaving a glossy thing with that ink. I don't know. And it's still going to be plenty dark. It's super dark. Yeah, that's good. It's the start. Oh, I should have left that dark there. This is cool. Should I suck up some of that? Or just leave it? Just gonna suck a little bit of that out of there. There we go. Nice splotch. Okay. I'm digging this. Okay, now once this dries, I gotta dry this. Then, okay, let's take this off. Might use that again. That's way cool. Okay, so now these things are gonna be up on here. And then this big area down here is gonna be, I think I need to dry this. I could wait, but let's just hit it. Because the paper's going to start buckling a little bit too much if I let it go. It'll suck back down. If I do smaller areas and you dry them, then it sucks back down and it stays flat. Which is, you know, a little bit of buckling is no big deal, but it's kind of nice when it's really flat. And then, you know, if I took the time to stretch it, wet it, stretch it, and do all that, which is great, and I do that, then it will stay really flat. But this way of doing it in areas, and if I dry them, it sucks back down as the moisture leaves the fibers of the paper. But I got that pretty wet right in here, so that's good. Okay, now up in here, should I do the trees first with the wind or this whole area? I don't know. Kind of feeling like continuing down here with these big strokes and then that top. Okay, this corner has to be dry though, because I don't want that to. Maybe I'll keep a little edge there, but then maybe go over it with like a shadow or something to tie them together. Unless if you leave white and it's cool, then just leave it because it's like this highlight, you know, and that's what you're using the texture of the paper for. There, you can see that drying out. I love that ink. And then there's little particles. I don't know. Here, let me hold this up so you guys can see what's going on. Nothing's going to drip now. Like I love that right in there. Okay. Okay, that's cool. Let's just leave it. Okay, now I need to mix up some serious, let's get rid of this. I'll be right back. I'm gonna just wash this off really quick. Okay. Okay, now what I'm going to use is some of these quinacridones. I'm going to use quinacridone gold, my Tioga ink, pecan, and the quinacridone burnt orange, and maybe neutralize those out so I've got like a the antithesis of it, you know, kind of the so here's my Tioga pecan. I have enough of that. Whoa, this stuff is strong. I'm gonna need more than that. I'm gonna stain them. Because these inks are dye-based, and I don't know, they are considered permanent, some of these, but I don't know if they'll last forever. So I'm going to do some quinacridone burnt orange, which is kind of a red. It's a deep, rusty red. I've got 3 rusty colors going on. And where's the other one? Okay, this quinacridone gold, which is more of a, yeah, it's more of a yellow. Well, I'm running through these. Let's see, let's mix that up. Something. Maybe it's not much. A big pile of that. I don't really want it to be all consistent. And then let's put some of that. Oh, that number 3. Remember, we got this number 3. We're going to use that too. And I've still got that one. Okay, I'm going to keep that there. Then I'm going to mix this one up. Kind of preparing all these. Now I'm going to forget that idea. Because we've moved on to this has a life of its own now. Let's mix it up with this one. This brush is not going to be big enough. I'm going to need more of that. This brush is definitely not big enough. I don't want to waste any of that. Good stuff. Okay, this brush, this would be big enough if it'll hold water. It just doesn't do water too good. But these Sunni brushes, this one, maybe this one, just a nylon one, that might be big enough. This one definitely is going to happen. This one, okay, I want this to be like this would hold it. I kind of like that because it could striate the strata of the earth down there. Okay, so here's our stuff. Which one should I put on first? I'm going to put the watercolors on, and then I'm going to do the ink. Okay. I'm going to do this one first. For no particular reason. I probably should do the lighter one first, but I'm going to do this one. Yeah. That's cool. Okay, now I need maybe this one. This is not holding it. Now we use that all up. Okay, that was quinacridone gold. That didn't work. I mean, it's kind of cool. Not going to use that one. Maybe that one. Maybe the mop. What have I got in there? That's that gray. Let's clean that out. Each painting is like a puzzle solving thing. You're going towards something. Maybe you're trying to paint something realistic. Maybe you're trying to just work with the materials, but you're solving something. Maybe it's just in your mind, you know, but it's like, it's just, you're making something and it either works or it doesn't. And you're trying to solve it, you know. That's what I like about art. It's never existed before this moment. And you probably never be able to, well, that's why I kind of keep switching around too much, you know, kind of trying all, you know, I use all kinds of different materials and stuff because every one's new and you can't repeat it. It's just kind of like what I like. That's pretty cool, actually, right there. But I want this bottom. It's got this flow to it. I hope this has got enough in it. Okay. And now I think I'll just use that other mop. Oh. With the dye. What can I do it? Okay, so this is the dye. I want this bottom, but I'm afraid. Okay. Okay, maybe I should just move on to the Sumis, wait, I got this stuff. Oh. What happened to the video? We still there? Yeah, okay. Well, I didn't like that at all. Kind of screwed it up. I did too much. So I've got to complete this. Maybe just some water. Should have left it more simple. Oh well. That's good. That's good. It's cool. Okay. Now I need some Bokuteki. This is going to be let's start with just one of my little brushes. my gray mix. And this is going to be these trees up here. Some roots coming down. Sort of just defining the structure a little bit in these with shadows. Not too much. I don't want to get too carried away here. It's like if there's a shadow underneath it. In the back. Like that one's behind. Cool, that's working. Okay, then maybe there's a limb coming off. Okay. Okay. Where was that? Here it is. Okay, now I need some Sumi ink. See, I want to soak up some of that. This one. Oh boy, I don't want to touch it though. Can I soak it? I could use a brush. Thirsty brush. There. It's got cool particles in the whole thing. Okay. This is Bokteki black ink. Now, do I want it totally black? And then I'm going to wash over it. Okay. So I want a middle size, pretty controllable brush. This one's a nice brush. Okay. Really black on top. Oh my God. Okay, this is just straight ink. A lot of times I'll do where I take the straight ink on here, which is black with carbon in it. I mean, it's just super. And then mix it to water, to water, to water, to water, more water. So it gets lighter and lighter and lighter. Kind of on the wrong side of this thing. Got to be careful of this ink. It'll get anywhere. Here we go. This is what a better arrangement. Now, I got to be able to move. We'll keep that off in here. Got to be able to move. Are we running out of time? How long is this? It's a lot. Wow. Okay. So these are going to be these trees. So which one? Okay, this one's kind of before that one. They're too even. I tend to do that sometimes. Gotta get a little more of a balance here. Natural, out of balance. Okay, now I'm gonna, as that dries, I'm gonna wash over the top. I don't know. I'm not convinced. I don't think that was very good. Okay, let's leave that for a second. You can always go back for some more. Okay, now I need a big wash brush. Okay. And that's got a little color in it. That'd be nice. Yeah, that's not the right brush. Maybe this mock one here. Maybe this big one. Use this one. Okay. That's really wet. Okay, so it's like that. Okay, good. It's pretty good. No telling what's going to happen now. Let's take some of that up though, right in there. You see it? Now there's some, I don't know, maybe I should just leave it. Yeah, let's, I think I should just leave it and take off this, see how our edge is here. Oh, that's still so wet there. I can suck up some of that. That's still wet. Let's hit it with the dryer. Let's see. Love that color, man. And it's kind of just, let's see, I should probably, let's see, let's hit it with the dryer. It's really wet right in here though, but I hate, I don't want to touch it. No, I don't want to lift it either because I don't want it to look like a run that I manipulate or I, tilted it. I mean, you do that sometimes. Okay, and it's really buckling right through here. So I think I can get that down flat. This is all flattened out, really nice. This is flattened out, and this will probably, in fact, I know what I need to do on that. I'm gonna grab my pens here while this is drying. Okay, I'm gonna grab It's a fountain pen with, what kind of ink has this got in it? It's got Noodler's Borealis Black. It's really a nice black that stays water soluble. So you can hit it again. So it's like some of these, no, I don't want to get my paws in this thing. I've ruined so many. See, I need my sticks. I've got sticks all around here. I'm trying to work over things. Like just a few black, sketches in here. This kind of can tighten it up too much if I start drawing stuff, but a little bit really kind of defines a few things. Leave all those ghosty shapes in there. That one's back. So kind of the ones in the front. Now this is still wet, so that ink is going into that wet, which is nice. But I don't want it all to be soft edges like that. I could start drawing these. No, don't do that. Leave it, leave it. Okay, don't, yeah, back. Okay. And those they just add just a little detail to it. Okay, let's see if I can, and now we gotta be really careful when I'm taking this off because you don't want to rip up the paper. And I like that cleaner, but I've got an extra one here. Okay, now this one, let's just leave it while this is drying. It's not dry. I want to still hold it down. It's still not dry yet. And I just got a few dribbles into the white there, which is okay. I kind of like my white to be white, If I'm going to leave it white, it's the paper, it's clean. And I've dragged, if my arm or my shirt drags over, the ink takes a long time. It seems like this takes a long time to dry. And I drag it over and it doesn't look right. It's just like, okay, that was not a cool stroke. That wasn't something planned. Not that this was planned, but it is planned. It's executed anyway. These curves up here, I'm not really enamored with. That one, it's going in the wrong direction or something. These are good. That one is really good. I love that tree right there. And then some of these back in here are really good. But I'm not enamored with that. Okay, so where did here's my ink. Okay, I'm gonna do something on there. Okay, but I don't want to cover up all that behind there. I just have to change this direction somehow. Maybe come forward. It's going this way. What if I go back that way? Well, that's better. Just that probably is enough. That really just changed it. Okay, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Put the brush away. Step away from the painting. Now, will this area flatten down? I'm not sure. I don't want to get it too hot. This is pretty warm. If I'm up close, that's pretty hot. I've got it on medium. This area is still wet. Now that's where those particles are, and I've had that little bit of gum arabic, and then I hope it'll stay. If those particles won't come off, because they don't suck into the paper the same way as the fine particles of ink. this little edge right here is really cool, where that orange hit the green, and then it's so they mix nicely. It's a little bit stripy, but it's all moving in the same direction, so I like that. I've been, hitting all these small little sketches, trying to work these out, and then I'm going to take these up to be more of a full size. This is a half sheet. I haven't done this style on a full sheet yet. That will be something. Okay, this is going down, and I might on the full sheet. I probably was going to maybe staple it down so I can peel that up and still have that nice natural edge off of the mold. The paper made mold. See, this is all flat. This is going down flat. Keep your fingers off it. This is still wet here, but this is going down. I can feel it. It's still cool. You can feel it's cool to the touch, and this is sucking down here. This is all going flat. Nice. This is still wet here. This is a good stroke there. And it's kind of, what would you call it? Split complement. So we got a complementary colors, red, green, and then a split off with the yellow, gold. So yeah, that's cool. There's no blue. A lot of times I'll get too many colors, so I've been really trying to simplify down. You guys bored yet? Oh, there's a big puddle right here. We didn't even see that one. Big old puddle. Should I suck it out of there or not? And it kind of makes a cool edge there. Oh, that's cool. Interesting edge. Yeah, it's problem solving. It's like letting your materials tell you what's needed. What does the painting need? It's like where, kind of have a direction where you're going, and then let the materials, let the event, let the day go in there, and then just move on, do another one. It's really different than working with oils, which I've been doing for the last couple of years. It's like where you're doing this indirect approach where you're really deciding on the composition and working it out, and I think all that study helps me when I do something that's more spontaneous like this, where you can get the interaction that's spontaneous, but utilize the time you've spent working on composition and color and all those other things, drawing, to make marks and to just do what's just needed. Okay, that's getting all flat. It's nice, dry. I'm going to take the tape off and see what we've got, because it's going to look really cool when the tape comes off. I love taking the tape off. See the top is here. Take this off. Careful, careful. This is just cheap Woods Hardware painter's tape. I've tried the blue stuff. Sometimes that sticks almost too much. Now I'm trying this stuff. And none of that fancy, look at that. It comes off perfectly clean. See it? And it held a good edge. Of course, when I put on the paint, kind of conscious of not having it soak through that edge. Those little marks are just where I marked off an inch for the tape. And look at that, nice and clean. I think that's a keeper. Yeah, I'll put a good mat on that. Maybe somebody would want it. I wouldn't mind hanging that up. Now I got to clean up all this stuff. gets dry, I think I should sign it right while I'm at it. Where's my? This one's a Kokuno fountain pen. Kokuno, little Japanese one. And it's got the Tioga pecan in there. Check this. Good and wet. And let's see, where should I do it? Probably not in there. It's not going to show up. Right in there is kind of a significant place. I don't really want it to be out by itself, you know, over here. That'd be too dramatic or something. Draw attention to it. I just want to sign it. How about right now? Well, here. No, up in here. I keep coming back to here. And kind of at the angle that it's dry. Okay. And that's the same ink that's, or the same color I'm using. Oh, that's that quinacridone. Part of that is the quinacridone burnt orange, and then the Tioga over the top.